On Friday, the new Minister of Defence, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, announced the disbanding of Antony Macerewicz's subcommittee and announced that its members have until the end of Monday to account for all documentation, property and equipment used for the subcommittee's work. At 11 a.m. local time, Ministry of Defence officials entered the Smoleńsk subcommittee building. According to the unofficial findings of our editorial office, this instruction was given by the Minister of Defence. Of course, Mr. Kosiniak-Kamysz may try to liquidate us by violence, but only in the dimension related to the functioning of the Ministry of Defence. And the Commission will exist anyway, no matter what he imagines. He will take the computers, he will take the phones. Chairman Antony Macierewicz pointed out that the Minister of Defence has no authority to dismiss the subcommittee, so its work will continue until August. Deputy Defence Minister Cezary Tomczyk disagrees with this position. According to the decision of the Minister of Defence, as of the 15th of December 2023, all authorisations of the former chairman and members of the subcommittee to act on behalf of the Defence Minister and the State Commission have expired. Any activities undertaken by the former members of the subcommittee, other than those described in the decision, have no legal force. This action is a crime which on the one hand has a factual aspect, but also has a huge dramatic political aspect for Poland, because it accuses Polish pilots and the Polish military and excuses and protects the Russian criminal Mr. Putin. The defence minister would have done better if this commission had actually functioned until August. We would then have avoided any legal controversy, while outside the legal side of the matter the important thing remains, namely how the Smoleńsk crash happened. In the near future, an application will be submitted to the prosecutor's office against the Minister of Defence and Prime Minister Donald Tusk. Antony Macierewicz is expected to provide more details at a press conference later this week. Prime Minister Donald Tusk too, but mainly the reference point is Mr. Kosiniak-Kamysz, because he is the one who takes responsibility. Unless he reveals to the public that he is only a tool, that he is only an intermediary, and that he was actually forced to do it by Mr. Donald Tusk, which is possible, but the conclusion will be primarily about Mr. Kosiniak-Kamysz. This is not the first such decision by the new government. In November, members of a commission to investigate Russian influence on Poland's security were dismissed. The commission's report recommended that Donald Tusk, Jacek Cichocki, Bogdan Klich, Tomasz Siemionak, Bartłomiej Sienkiewicz should not be entrusted with public positions responsible for state security. In a strange twist of fate, the fate of the Russian Commission also befell the Smoleńsk subcommittee. This decision is written until a whole string of decisions form a bright light sent toward Moscow. Such a part of this string of decisions is an outright dismissal, that is in principle the destruction or pacification of the Commission to investigate Russian influence in Poland. It is worth noting that the ruling coalition does not intend to stop at abolishing the Commission, and that changes are also expected to hit the public media. The new government intends to abolish the National Media Council. On Thursday, the Constitutional Court issued a safeguard to block the changes to Polish television. Meanwhile, the parliamentary majority takes a position that the composition of the Constitutional Court is flawed, and therefore it could not issue such a ruling. I cannot imagine that in a civilized state under the rule of law, a resolution undermining the functioning of the Constitutional Court would be passed. If an organ of the state, citing this resolution, took any action, we would be dealing with a coup d'etat. I here want to emphasize that as the editor-in-chief of TV Republica, I have no vested interest in defending TVP. I have a public interest, which is that the destruction of the media is the annihilation of democracy. And even if this media system of ours is lame, even if there are many imperfections in it, there is still some possibility of debate in what is already there. Interestingly, the daily Rzeczpospolita reports that changes in the public media may take place before Christmas. However, the Constitutional Court will not consider the legislation allowing the liquidation of public media companies until the 16th of January next year.